How's everyone doing this morning? I guess it's afternoon for me, probably different time zones, but I'm the Wicked Wyvern. Welcome back to the den. It's been a while since I've done anything on here, and forgive me, I just woke up a little while ago trying to get ready for my night shift. But yeah, so today what I want to do is I want to show you guys what my current obsession is, right? So, the game I've been putting in way too many hours. I think I'm at like 155 hours or something. Yeah, most of those are probably in the last few days. So, so yeah, definitely gonna be checking this out. It's a fun one, a little grindy. It's called Mountain Blade 2 Bannerlords. I've played the whole series. They have Mountain Blade, the original, and then they have Mountain Blade Warband, which was a much better version of the first game. And then they had like Fire and Storm or Fire and Sword was another one, which was kind of flopped a little bit, but was pretty fun, I think. And then they have another one for Caribbean, so it's like boat based and things like that. All of them are really fun games. A lot of them didn't get really good reviews or really a lot of good recommendations or anything like that. So so it didn't really ever take off, but Mountain Blade 2 seems to be doing well. So we're going to check it out. They're doing really good stuff. All these games are constantly being updated, especially Mountain Blade 2 is constantly being updated, but all of them are pretty good, solid updates. There is a few annoying things about the game series, but for the most part, it's really good. Definitely check it out. It's normally not too expensive. I don't know what Mountain Blade 2 is at right now, but the other ones are pretty cheap. But anyway, we're going to jump into it. I'm going to explain a little bit of what's going on. We're going to jump into a game I've been playing for a while, mostly because the beginning part of this game and the beginning part of this whole of all of the games of the series are very slow. They're very grindy. It's a fun grind, but it's really grindy. So I'm finally at a point now where I can just kind of do whatever the hell I want and start building up my renown and try to get a kingdom going. So we're probably not gonna get that far today, but we'll see. Um, so like I said, the game's Mountain Blade Warbands or Bannerlords. Sorry, Warbands is the first one. It's a super good one. But yeah, we're gonna just jump into it. Um, I haven't tested any audio or anything. So let me know if it's too loud or you can't hear it or whatever. I've had a few hiccups with my streams lately. I'm trying to work them out. So if you guys see anything, let me know in chat so I can try to fix them. Please. So let me just do a real quick. Make sure looks like my sound's coming through. The game sound's coming through. Cool. We've also changed the streaming bitrate a little bit to see if it helps make things a little smoother on the stream. But I'll keep messing with that if it's still not. All right, so we're gonna continue my game. In the beginning of the game, you kind of pick your culture, right? Your cultural background, and in this one, there's the Britannians, which is kind of like this, I don't know, like Scottish feel to them. There's the so we'll kind of scroll over here. Oh, I'm in an army right now. I'll just leave it real quick. But anyway, so there's a couple different factions in Mountain Blade Warband or Mountain Blade Bannerlords. You've got over here this orange clan right here. This is the Vlandians, and the Vlandians, and I'm probably pronouncing these completely wrong, but it's close enough. So the Vlandians are kind of European in style, very knight-based, horse and lance riding kind of fighting style. So lots of cavalry with heavy armor and charge tactics, pretty much. And so they're kind of like the normal European culture. And each culture you select as a background gives you bonuses to start the game with. The map is huge. You guys can see that This map is just ginormous. This is like way zoomed out. But yeah, you fight in this little boxed area here, and it's just a huge map. Um, the green guys here, these guys are probably one of my favorite, but they're kind of a weaker faction in some regards. They are like the Scottish kind of Celtic faction. And so lots of two-handed weapon fighting, and they all run around on foot. They don't have horses. Very infantry-based and archer-based kind of fighting style. But mostly, whatever you think of like Celtic, Scottish, like giant sword-wielding people that can take 13 arrows and not die. That's pretty much them. This symbol means that they're under siege, probably by the blue faction over here, which are the Sturgians. We'll go over that in a second. So that's the green faction. The blue faction here, like I said, is the Sturgians. They're your typical Viking Norse kind of guys, like axes, shields. If there was boat combat, probably longboats. Kind of your raider Viking faction, right? And they live up all up here in the north, the frozen north up here. And yeah, so they have pretty decent armor, really good infantry, axe wielding, shield wielding infantry, and spears and stuff. So I think they do have some horse infantry and decent archers, but for the most part, they're pretty much axe and blade or axe and shield. Um, Skirting around the other factions here, we've got the this kind of teal-like faction here. I don't know if that's the right word. Maybe it's more turquoise. Anyway, this faction here. This is the Kuzates or Kuzites, and pretty much they're Genghis Khan. They're the Khans. They horseback archery, very mobile, very hard to pin down in a fight. Probably one of the most annoying ones to fight. Because it's just hard to catch up to them. So they'll just run around literally run circles around you, pelting you with arrows from horseback. So very cool faction, light armored for the most part, relying mostly on their mobility on their horses. They're not great in siege combat or defensive siege combat, but out in the fields they're a pain in the butt without the right tactics to take down. And they will just wreck you with horse archers. So pretty fun faction to play with, but they won't hold down cities and stuff very long. Just because they don't have that kind of armor to do it, I mean, they're really skilled archers, but for the most part, they just don't have the armor to contend with some of the other ones when it comes to siege combat. Let's see, then we'll skirt around this other faction here. We'll go to this yellow faction. This yellow faction is a Sultanate. And it's exactly what they sound like. This is like your Arabian, Persian type deal here. Unfortunately, there's no elephants in the game. Otherwise, these guys would probably have them. But yeah, they're camelback knights with scimitars and archers with compact bows and stuff. So kind of a really solid like mid faction for just about everything. They do have lances or like spears and stuff too. So a pretty cool faction. Obviously based in like the desert people kind of stylization. So a lot of curved blades, camel riding, short bows, that kind of stuff. Like their armor kind of portrays the hot sun, with the neck guards and stuff. So pretty cool faction. That's the Sultanate. They run on the entire southern part. Now we'll get down to the middle of the map, which I kind of skirted around on intentionally. Just ignore these red and green backgrounds for now. I'll talk about that later. But this purple faction up here is the Northern Empire, and the Northern Empire, along with the Eastern, or I guess it's the Southern and the Western Empire. Really, there's no Eastern Empire. So you have the blue is the Southern Empire, and then the purple, like the dark purple, is the Western Empire. And it all used to be united, right, by the Empire. Essentially, the Empire is Rome. It's a Roman-inspired culture that pretty much owned everything at one point. but because of, like true to Rome, politics and expansion actually divided them enough that they kind of fractured off into three different factions now. So they're kind of in a civil war with each other. Essentially, what happens, you learn about this in the beginning of the game. There's a big war between the Roman empires, which includes some of the outer empires as well that I talked about. The Roman Empire and some of the other outer empires, like the Battanians and the Sturgians and all that, and they all had this huge, huge, huge war. And the Roman emperor of the Southern Empire used to run all of it, and he got killed. He got murdered in that fight. And after that, all hell broke loose, and a huge civil war broke out with the politics and the lack of leadership. All of the outside areas kind of fractured off into their own thing. And now it's a big power grab for whoever can unite the entire continent, essentially. And so all of these guys are all at fractured war, and they're also at war with these outside empires or the outside factions and things as well. And you kind of land in the middle of that war, and you acquire this thing called the banner, the dragon banner, I think is what it's called. And essentially, it's like this symbol of hope, right? Whoever wields this banner is the immortal leader of the country, essentially. So it's like this symbol of respect that everyone kind of acknowledges, and you acquire all the pieces of it as a brand new tribe, kind of rising up. I guess you're a clan, your own clan. Kind of rises up, chasing around some bandits and some other stuff that kidnap your siblings, and you kind of fall into this war and acquire this banner. You have a couple options you can do with this banner. You can either pledge it to one of these other countries, and then become their vessel and help them reunite the country, or you hang on to it and eventually get powerful enough that you can take your own city and build your own kingdom and bring peace to the world on your own. And that's kind of the route I'm considering doing. It is really, 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 really hard, because you have to build up enough forces, you have to build up enough of your clan and level them up so that they can hold their own in a fight. You have to have enough financial backing. You have to have a city you've got to take from one of these other countries that's going to hate you for it. And then you've got to defend that city and gain enough power to move forward and take other cities. And that's really hard to do in this game. Like I said, it took me probably I'd say 40 hours or more just to get to where I am, where I can finally hold my own. So right now what I'm doing is I'm a sellsword, and I'm just running around, and I'm a mercenary for right now the Southern Empire, which is pretty powerful right now. And I'm fighting the Southern Empire is at war with the Western Empire right now, which is why you see the green as my allies, because I've sworn my sword to them for money. So I'm a mercenary for the green background Southern Empire, and their enemies are red backgrounds. So all these guys are hostile. These guys are all at war with me because I've pledged to the Southern Empire. A few more symbols I'll talk about. This little helmet symbol here means that there's a tournament here, which is cool. We'll probably jump into that tournament and do that so you guys can see some of the combat. If you do a tournament, you get renown. Renown is how you build up your clan. Here's your clan here, your clan level. I'm a level 4.5, I guess. It's really hard to get here. The game doesn't really start taking off until you hit clan level 3, I'd say. And then you start to really get to have a lot of fun. You can see I've got like tons of armor and good equipment and stuff. And right now I'm focusing as an archer. I'm an archer with a two-handed sword on my back, and I've got a bajillion dollars. I've got $229,000, and that took a long time to earn. I had to buy workshops and invest money in different places and run caravans and things like that. But now I'm at a place with my sellsword contract and my workshop income that I'm actually making money rather than losing money, and I can still maintain a sizable army of about 200 men, which is a pretty big deal in this game. So So yeah, so eventually you build up enough renown and you keep leveling up through your clans. Now, to give you an idea of what this really means, a um, a kingdom, a leader of a kingdom, like the people you are, fighting with or against are tier 6. So all of the leaders, all of the ruling populace of the world are tier 6. A lot of the lords are tier 4 and 5. So I'm essentially equal to a lord right now, like a lower lord, but still a lord. I have a few people in my faction. This is my older brother. He's running caravans for me. This is my youngest brother, who just became of age a little while ago. He's not really doing much. This is my little sister, and she's actually in my army with me. She's a fighter. I built her to be a fighter. This guy's more of a siege guy, and he's more of like a whatever you need kind of guy. And then I have Theros the surgeon, and Theros is a companion. You pick them up throughout the other towns. I can have up to 8, but they all cost some money. So I don't want to have all 8 right now until I move to become a king or something, because then I'll want to fill up my entire clan as much as possible to give those guys the ability to build armies to protect me and things like that. So yeah, so I've got him. He's in my party as well. He's a surgeon, so he keeps all my guys alive, which is awesome. I don't own any actual settlements or fiefs or anything, but I do own 5 workshops. They all produce different things. I got tannery, silversmith, weaponsmithy, velvet weavery, and brewery. And the money fluctuates, right? So just like regular economy, your money will fluctuate. Sometimes you'll make $1,000. Sometimes you'll make $2. I guess it's gold, not really dollars, but whatever, dinars. But yeah, so you have to kind of manage that money. My army, like I said, I have an army I can have an army up to 203 right now. We just got out of fight, so I lost a few men there. You can level them up as they go through their trees and everything. You can kind of level them up and pick which route they take: melee, cavalry, archery, whatever. I've got a bunch of different cultural characters because I don't have any like loyalties or anything, so I can hire from pretty much anywhere to put them into my army. So I have a bunch of different cultures in there as well. Um, so yeah, looked like I had a couple prisoners, so I'll go to the tavern district and I'll ransom them off. That'll give me some more money. Recruit troops. Now there's a war going on, so a lot of the time the lords will come in and they'll steal all the troops, so you won't be able to really do anything with that. You just have to wait until you can snag one. Let's see where we're at here. So we're fighting the Western Empire. I'm a part of the Southern Empire. There's the leaders there. It kind of gives you a rundown of how the war is going right now. So they have 7,000. We have 7,000 strength. They have 5,000. We used to have like 30 of their people in prison, but now we don't, because they can escape or get bribes or whatever. It looks like they have 10 of ours, so fairly evenly matched, except for our strength power is way higher. So that's good to know. We're about to march with this army here, but I kind of wanted to wait to show you the tournament, but I don't think I'm going to have time because I think that army's going to move out before I can. So we'll jump into this army and hope they do something fun. So when you're in army, you got all your lords down here. I've got a bunch of bonuses and things that kind of help out with my army, right? Oh, I need more food too. Yeah, so you've got different things that like you got to pay attention to. Like I'm running out of food variety, which my soldiers don't like. So we'll have to try to figure out that one. Hopefully this army moves somewhere fun and we get to attack something. But I think they're just refilling and recruiting right now, which means we're going to just bounce between settlements, which isn't very fun right now to watch. So if they keep doing that, we'll definitely do something different. See if they have any food in here. Normally they don't because the soldiers have bought up all the food, so kind of in a bad spot right now. We need to get food. We might have to leave army. We need to get food. We need to refill our troops. So Might leave army and come back and join them later. But now it's daytime. We can go to the arena. We can do the tournament here. So you guys will get to see some of that. Oh, there's 6 nobles present. So the more nobles that are in the city, the better the rewards are. A Taihong. I think that's a... I don't know what that is. It might be a horse, or it might be a weapon. I don't know. It's a weapon. It's a tier 4 weapon. I'll have to check that out when we win, because we're going to win. There's no doubt about it. Alright, so you can see that this is the tournament screen. You've got your yellow team, your green team, all these backgrounds are different teams, right? So I'm on a team with this guy, and it's all random. It just randomly throws you into a group, and you fight your way through these bouts to get to the finals. So yeah, right now we're gonna fight with this guy against 3 other teams. And it looks like it's Blade and Shield. So the sword fighting is directional based. So wherever I move my character, or wherever I move before they attack, that's going to set my weapon attack and my block. So when they attack from the left or from the middle, I have to move my character in those directions, right? So if I want to block left, I push left and block. If I want to swing from the left, I push left and swing. So that's kind of how the fighting goes. It has a bunch of different strikes. It has a thrust strike, a head thrust, an under thrust, a left swing, and a right swing. So those are the 4 different attack points that you can attack from. So now we're a solo. It's a 4v4, I guess. That's not right. It's a free for all. So it's a 1 versus 1 versus 1 versus 1. But so you got to kind of like judge from their positioning of their arm and the movements of their body, how they're going to attack to be an effective blocker, right? So you have to learn the attack animations essentially to really hone in on your blocking skills. Now with a shield, it's a little easier because there's a little bit of chance for a fault there, but you still have to be careful, right? Because if you block the wrong direction, you leave yourself open. And on the counter side of that, you want to look for them to leave themselves open and attack. So there's a lot to the actual fighting, which is really cool. I really enjoy it. We're in the final bout here. This guy's not going to really stand a chance. We're just going to cut through him. You can also do a kick, right? So I can kick him when his shield's up, and they'll do like a minor stun. My kick isn't really good. You can also shield bash. You shield bash, you can kick. Excuse me. And that kind of gives you like a minor stun. But the minor stun doesn't last very long. You can sometimes stun them and then take advantage of it and get a hit in. So it's good to know how to do. So we gain renown every time we win. We gain influence, which this is because I have a perk. But that influence will go into my influence for a sellsword. And the empire that hired me pays me based on my influence, and then that influence kind of degrades over time, right? And then we won the sword as well, so we'll check out that sword. So it's got a 71 cut there and a 41 pierce, and you can see the other stats: swing speed, thrust damage, thrust speed, length, handling, all that stuff. I don't really use that because I've got this giant fucking saber, which is awesome. It'll wreck things. Plus, I don't have a shield because I'm an archer. So two-handed weapons are the way to go for me. But my little sister here, she's a little swordsman. So I'll take a look here, and looks like this has a higher cut and speed and everything. And the only thing you kind of lack there is the little bit of pierce and all that. So I'll probably won't give this to her. I'll probably sell that. This is my healer. He's got the same sword she does, so I don't think I'll really give him anything either. I can't equip my other brothers because they're not in my party. So you can only equip people that are in your party. And I don't want to really hold on to weapons for them. I'm not too worried about it. We've got a lot of money, so if we want to buy a weapon, we can buy a weapon for them. So we'll sell that. We'll get 800 dinars for it. And we'll return to the army. Hopefully they don't just sit here and go back and forth all day. If they do, we're going to leave them and go do something else. We're 1,000 strong, so should be a good fight wherever we go. Should be fun to watch if we ever get into a fight. Still no food or anything, so I'm gonna just have to buy what I can here. Like I said, they've been campaigning for a while now, and it wasn't just against these guys. They've been campaigning for a while. So a lot of the cities and stuff have run out of food and have run out of supplies and stuff. But they've been campaigning against the Western Empire for 23 days. They were fighting the Northern Empire before that, and the Khuzaits before that. So they've been doing a lot of fighting. So a lot of their towns are kind of tapped out. She looks like she's going to just be bouncing back and forth recruiting troops. So we might join this guy here. I think that's what we're going to do. Because he's looking like he's ready to go into a war. So we'll go join that guy real quick. Pick up some troops on the way. We got to beat the 900 to the troops. So I can hold 203 people. That's because my stewarding and my other skills, my skill attributes here are pretty high. Right, so my stewarding is what's determining how many soldiers I can hold in my army at a time. Then I have a couple other things that I've been building into. The ones with the bars filled in are things that I'm focusing on. So things I've put focus points into, which increase your experience gain and maxes out your max learning ability. So this one here, see how it's orange, means it's topped out, right? I absolutely cannot gain any more charm skill unless I increase my my social attribute here. And the social attribute, you only get one of those per 4 levels. So that's really slow to build that up, but that's where the next point's going to go, so I can build my charm up. If you can get to this last bar here, you get a really cool bonus for all the trees. So yeah. Let's see. Let's go over here next and see if we can grab some men. Like I said, we're trying to beat her to all the recruits, so that way we can fill up our army. And I think that's pretty close to full, so we'll go meet up with him. We only have a slot, like I said, for 203 people. So we're pretty close. I do want to get some more food. Let's go to Lycaron and see if there's anyone there. Looks like Rhaega's going to head that way too. So I don't think we're going to beat her this time, but hopefully we can actually get some food here. The bigger cities usually have something that you can do with food. It looks like we do have a couple different varieties here. And because I'm an amazing lord, I like to give them a bunch of different things to eat because you get morale bonuses if they have more things to eat. So I like to give them a lot of different variety, and it also increases your stewarding skill if you do that. She didn't leave us any recruits though. Didn't think she would. But you can see your army disbanded right now, so all the people are running off. So we're gonna go meet up with this other guy and see what his campaign is. There's an enemy troop that was raiding that town there, so we could have stopped and fought them, but they had 144 men and probably better trained than we are for now because we just grabbed a bunch of new recruits. So we'll hit up them later. But we will join this army because they're about to attack this guy at 802 here. Come on, join the army. There we go. And chase that guy down. Awesome. So we've got 1,221 men and women against their 802. These are the different lords as well that are in that army. And we have a chance when we fight here to capture lords. And if we can capture the lords, we can turn them into a castle for huge influence with the people that own that castle. And on top of that, it takes them out of the battlefield, so it makes it easier to win the next fights because they don't have as many lords open and running around. Plus, we could, alternatively, if we don't want to worry about influence, um, we can sell the lords. And if you sell a lord, you get a ton of money, but they go back to their army. So you ransom them back to someone in their army, and they can build up forces again and attack again. So what I'll probably do if we get any of them is we'll take them probably to Poros here, and we'll put them in the dungeon, and that's gonna give us relationship bonus with everyone. It's gonna increase our charm skill if we could increase our charm skill, which we can't anymore, but it would increase a bunch of different things and probably give us a level or two. So you have a couple options here. You can attack the army. That means you're gonna be the main guy with them. You're gonna lead armies, or you can just send your troops if you're too wounded or whatever to do it. We're definitely gonna attack with them. So, like I said, I'm a really decent archer. I've got pretty high skill in that. So I'm going to actually jump in and lead the archers. That'll be this little slot here. Then you have the horse cavalry, and then you have the mounted archers, and then you have the infantry, right? So the commander is going to be leading the infantry, and then I'm going to lead the archers, and then they're going to fill in these slots with other generals or whatever. This setup is pretty new. They just put this out in the latest patch, and it's a more tactical view of what you're doing. It's really awesome. I really enjoy it. I'm going to click ready, drop down to our troops here. Tell them to follow us. So up there you can see Helia is telling us what to do. She's telling us we're going to skirmish in front of the infantry, which I really don't like doing. What we'll probably do is we'll wait until the infantry gets close to the enemy, and then we'll pull a flank on them. So you got to kind of learn like the commands, right? So this is what we are in command of. All these archers here, these amazing, freaking cool-looking dudes that are gonna wreck stuff. And then you got the cavalry running around. The cavalry's mostly gonna cover our flanks. You see in the bottom left, they're getting orders to cover the right and left flanks, charge in formation, things like that. And there's our enemies up there. There's their infantry line. Now, ideally, they're gonna have cavalry as well. They're gonna have archers as well. They're gonna have a bunch of stuff. So we're going to want to get to a position where it's advantageous for us. And then try not to get ran over. Now I do have a couple bonuses, like my troops take less arrow damage and also take less charge damage as well. Now we're just going to shoot into this group of people here, right? So we're just going to start laying arrows into the enemy. That's our job right now. And try not to friendly fire. There is friendly fire here, so we definitely want to watch out for that. They will put up a shield wall, which will probably hit a couple shields, but if you go a little higher, you can kind of lob them over the shield wall and kind of pop them in the head. We're going to move in right now. That's bad cavalry right there. You can tell which ones are allies and which ones are enemies because the allies will have the little symbol above their head, and the enemies will not. So unfortunately, when you're fighting the Empire versus the Empire, you get that guy's cool. You get a lot of the same looking models in the combat, so you can't go off of what they look like. You have to kind of go off of the symbol. But yeah, we've got a nice little right flank here, which means most of their shields are going to be turned towards the infantry. So we'll kind of have an advantage there, and kind of get around their shields a little bit. Looks like they're falling back a little bit to regroup. So we're going to get to a spot where we can put in some more accurate shots rather than just lobbing rounds. I'm not too worried about cavalry charging us right now. That's going to happen. What I want to do is I want to shoot a couple of these guys and then back out. That's what I want to do here. So I want to loosen, I want to kill a lot of their archers right now. Because their archers are going to pelt us everywhere we go. Damn horse got in the way. Alright, they're getting pretty close, so we're going to fall back. We're going to move to the skirmish, so I gave them the skirmish command. So we're going to shoot and move backwards. That's what we're going to do. We're going to try and maintain distance between us and the enemy. Oh, shot my own guy. That happens. It is war after all. We're going to let the infantry kind of take it if they can. Looks like they're still getting into pretty deep into our archers here, so we need to get the hell out. So we're getting the charge command. I'm not going to do that right now. She wants us to charge, but my men are at the front line, so we're not supposed to be there. We're going to back up. We're going to fall behind our infantry line here. That's kind of coming in for reinforcements. And we're going to fall back behind them, and then we'll probably do a charge command again. So I'm pretty good at the commands now, but if you saw earlier, it kind of slows down time when you pull up the command screen. You can give them orders to move, retreat, formations, line, hold fire, all sorts of stuff like that. So pretty cool. Can be really tactical if you play it right. All right, so we've recovered back into our line here. Our infantry is in front of us.
Follow me!
So we're going to give them a follow command, and we're going to move in again. Now that we've got some more people in front of us. Not quite ready to charge yet. She keeps wanting us to charge to kind of push them back. We're not ready for that just yet, I don't think. We still got to kind of thin the numbers a little bit, but we'll charge soon. Looks like our lines are pushing now, so... And we've got less horse infantry attacking us. Oh, fuck. My own guy ran into it. Yeah, we'll do a charge command now. So charge command, they don't try to maintain distance. They just chase them down. They get close, they put rounds into them, and they just keep pushing until they stop. So you give them another command. We still have a good amount of enemy infantry there and enemy archers, but it looks like they're breaking. You can see the morale on the top there. The dark blue is us, the purple is the enemy. So now we'll just kind of help. I'm out of arrows, so I'm going to come in with my big old sword here and start attacking anything that doesn't have a mark above it. Frontline combat's really fun, but can be really chaotic. You have to watch your health. I don't recommend doing it early game because you won't have the health to sustain it. But later on, when you get the health and you get the levels and stuff, you can kind of get up front and just start wrecking stuff. So now they want us to shower them with arrows and skirmish in front of the lines. So I'll call my archers back to me. We'll pull back a little bit with our infantry here. I still don't have any arrows, but my troops do. So we'll do that. Looks like I've got a good amount of them still left with me. So we'll pull them all back behind these this infantry line here. We'll give them the skirmish command so they can keep their distance and still fire. And I'm going to try to find a quiver of arrows. Hopefully on someone dead. There's arrows in them, but you can't retrieve the arrows out of people. Just off of the ground that are like on quivers or whatever. I may not be able to find any, and if that's the case, that's fine. So she gave us the skirmish command. We've already done that. Where I'll just give it again. The more times you give commands in combat, the more your tactics go up. Now she's given us the charge command, which I agree with because their morale's really low. So now we just want to run them down until they leave or all get killed. So we're going to run them down now. So yeah, lots of tactics in this this fighting, this combat. Really chaotic, really fun. Kind of look at the battlefield to keep up. You can just see all the death and destruction that just lays waste. after these kinds of fights, all these dead here, and you tell where the front lines clashed and where the horses are still standing without riders and stuff like that. So really, really, really cool kind of post battlefield view. I say cool, it's horrific, but it's cool that the game puts this much time into the details of leaving all of the bodies on the ground where they died and all the weapons. And you can see like this dude got shot in the back with an arrow, so he's dead. You'll see some with arrows and stuff sticking out of their heads or whatever. This poor horse got an arrow in the chest. So yeah, pretty cool. This dude's got a javelin sticking out of his stomach. That's a shitty way to go. But yeah, pretty cool, man. That's the mass scale combat that's in this game. You get your level ups for whatever you use. So I used my bow a lot. I used my sword a little bit, but I didn't gain any levels in it. That little running guy, that's athletics, and then the one with the arrows kind of looks like a football plan. That's your tactics. So we given enough commands that we gained 2 levels in tactics as well. We also gained renown, influence, which is going to cash out for us, morale boost, and then some of the loot. We gain 29% of the loot. The more active you are in the combat, the more kills you get. The more kills your troops get, the higher percentage of your loot you get. I don't ever really worry too much about that, but it is good to know how to manipulate that number if you need to. So we saved this chick. Technically we didn't, but we fought with her, so she's like, oh, thank you for saving us again, blah, blah, blah. And you gain relationship with them because you help them fight. And then we've got this guy. He's our prisoner. We're going to take him as a prisoner. We got another one. That's good. We want to get as many prisoners as possible because that's going to cash out big for us. Or it's going to give us good influence with the fighting team we're on here. So we got these 2 guys. I guess a guy and a girl there. And then we got a bunch of troops that are prisoners as well. We'll most definitely sell the troops. You can convert the troops into your forces. So if you're really low on troops, you might want to hang on to your prisoners because eventually they will convert into your units. These are how many troops I can level up into the next tiers, and I can decide 2 paths for these guys. I'm going to just split them evenly as possible there. I'm going to go with the crossbowmen there. You can right click on them and it shows you their tree, right? So it shows you where they'll go if you choose which path, what they'll look like, what their stats will be when they get there. So you can do some really in-depth research and build this crazy army if you wanted, or a very specialized army, or an army that's good at everything. Whatever you want to build, you can do it that way. So yeah, whatever troops survive, they gain experience. You can see that we've got 133 healthy troops and 39 W, which is wounded troops. So we have 39 wounded troops. That's not bad. It's not bad that we didn't take a ton of wounds, but we also lost like 20 people. It looks like because we had like 190, I think. So we lost almost 20 people in that fight. And this is the spoils of the battlefield, right? These are all the pieces of equipment that I can pick up. I've got pretty decent gear, and my soldiers have, or my heroes have pretty decent gear as well. So I'm not too terribly worried about any of this stuff being like equipped to my guys right now, because they all have pretty good stuff. So I'll take it all on as loot, and I won't equip any of them. But early game, you really want to look at your loot, and you want to equip them with the best gear that they got. That way they survive longer. Yeah, so we're probably going to pop into Poros to recruit troops and to kind of refresh a little bit. We're not going to be able to catch any troops because all the other lords in the army stole them. Maybe they have some food. Looks like they do have a little bit of food left. So we'll see what we're lacking over there on the right and see if I can buy it. Like, we have no beer. That's not acceptable. My troops must have beer. Yeah, we have like no cheese. Like I said, I like to give them as much as I can. I'm super wealthy, so buying food doesn't really matter. $1,000, dropping $1,000+ on food doesn't bother me. To keep my troop morale up and to keep my soldiers from starving. So I'm good with that. So yeah, my surgeon's automatically working on these 30 people here. He's a really good surgeon, so you'll see that number go up really quick or go down really quick. He's not gonna screw around. He's gonna make sure they're healthy for the next fight. Yeah. So we got it. Looks like we got something in our level ups here. Looks like we got an athletics perk we can select from. That's what this little shield means here. As we've unlocked a perk. It happens every 25, I think. Yeah, it's like every 25 levels you get a perk. So we get to choose out of 2 of them. So we have a good day's rest, increase your hit point regeneration by 10% while waiting in settlements, and then your passive, which is the bottom one, foot troops in your party gain 10% or 10 XP every day while they're waiting in settlements. So if we're sitting in a settlement, that's good for us. Walk it off, increase your hit points regeneration by 10% while traveling, and foot troops in your party gain 3 XP every day while traveling. I'll probably go with the traveling one. I tend to do more traveling than waiting, so I'll do that one. This top one would be good for like a hero that you drop into a settlement and just let him defend there and steward it and all that. So that would be a good one for him. But like for a traveling soldier like me, I'm gonna go with the walk it off. Yeah. So we've gained some skills here. You can see our numbers are pretty decent. When you start the game, you don't really have a whole lot of this at all. You have very little, if any, skills in anything. Yeah. And then it takes a while. Like I said, it's pretty grindy in the beginning of the game, but later game, it's definitely worth it. It's definitely fun. The battles, the big scale battles like we just fought, or even the ones that are even bigger, like a couple thousand versus a couple thousand, are insane. They're just super fun. But I'm gonna do a time check here and see where we're at. We still got a little bit of time left, so we can do a few more things before we cut out here. So this is my my current obsession, right? I can go to the trade here. Yeah, I can trade all this stuff out. If you mark things that you want to keep with the little dot, it won't sell them when you click the sell all button, so that's important to learn. Looks like all the gear we got will give us $19,000 or dinars. That's great. Spoils of war. So, yeah, we'll go back and join this army again. Is this guy? Is that guy's army? And we'll see what he wants to do next. Good chance that they're going to sit here and recruit. You can see the numbers down here on the bottom. Most of the time after the fights, they'll just bounce around city to city and try to build up their numbers again. Unfortunately, that means that their cohesion goes down quickly. And normally before they can even fill up and do another attack... oh crap, I forgot to drop those guys in Poros. I will drop them in Lycan. Yeah, the ransom brokers will come and be like, "Hey, we'll offer you this much money for that lord you have in your army." You can do that. You get usually a better deal than selling them to the tavern or whatever. But we're gonna throw them in the dungeon. So we'll take these little dudes here, stick them in the dungeon. That's gonna give us 18 renown or influence. I mean, it's gonna give us a little bit of renown and a lot of relationship with whoever owns this city. So you can see that the Pethros owns the city. 100 is maxed out. We already have maxed out with a lot of them because I've been fighting with them forever. So I've been dropping a lot of prisoners in there. So most of the big towns, all the people who run it, I already have like 100% relationship with, which means they're more likely to do things for you. You can marry them if you get a good enough relationship with them. You can get them to do things. If they become your friend, they're more likely to side with you in political matters if you join a country. Like if we joined the Southern Empire, I'd have a bunch of friends. So anything that would encourage, like anything that I vote on or anything that I want to do, they're more likely to back you because they have a friendship with you. Um, so if you want to play the political game and stuff, that's in there too. You gotta kind of you gotta do a little bit of that anyway. There's a lot of different things like who owns what fiefs when you take them over and castles and things like that. You all get voted, like the whole clan votes on them. And so if you build those friendships and you use those friendships and your influence that you gained in the combat, then you can start owning a lot of fiefs, and that's going to help you with your revenue and your projects and your troop count and all that stuff. So yeah, well you won't see any of that today probably because I'm still a sellsword. I want to kind of wait. I want to build up my clan to be like this pretty big powerhouse before I even start doing any kind of kingdom stuff. And then I might consider either joining one or most likely building my own. That seems like a really hard gameplay to do, but I might try that because I haven't done that yet. The easy solution is to swear loyalty to one of the other guys' kingdoms and just help them kind of win the realm. That's the easiest way to do to progress through that part of the game, but maybe not as fun if you want to really see what you can do and you want to see if you can build up a kingdom all by yourself. It's definitely a fun travel, a fun journey that way, but it's extremely hard because the second you take over any town, they're gonna attack the crap out of you. So you definitely gotta make sure you're ready to hold that town if you take it. And we won't be able to do that. As you can see, these guys can muster up an army of about 800 to 900 to 1,000 people. And right now, I probably can only muster maybe 1,000 people. And that would be if I use all of my champions and everything. Should be attacking those guys down there. Oh, look, they left us one recruit. So yeah, this is the part that like if we're sitting here and we're just gonna gather troops the whole time, I'll probably leave the army and we'll run around and do other stuff. I'm sure there's another army somewhere running around. Nope, just this one's for now. So those guys are bad guys. 29 of them. Could definitely beat those guys up right now if we can catch them. They're pretty quick. Yeah, they're moving at a 5 pace. We're moving at 4.4. We're not going to catch them. That's okay. We can catch up to the army. The army moves pretty slowly. So the first part of the game, because we're not really playing the first part of the game. The first part of the game, all you're going to be doing is you'll see those little looters that are running around. And you'll see like bandits and stuff like that. 13 pack of looters. The first part of that game, all you're going to be doing is attacking those looters. That's all you're going to be doing. Looks like Garros got into a fight here. Alright. Yeah, well, Garros got into a fight, but our army did as well. So let's see. 346 guys. This shouldn't be too hard. Should be able to win this one. Maybe get a few more captives. Maybe not, because we're helping rather than being in the army that did attack.
Charge!
We're going to start with a charge here. We'll probably do infantry advance, so they keep their formation that way, but they move slower.
Archers!
Archers, we're going to tell them to follow me for now. And then we're going to get our cavalry to follow me as well for now.
Cavalry, follow me!
So we don't want our cavalry to charge before our troops get in range to help them. That is a big way to just lose all your cavalry. Now we're in command of the entire army right now because we're helping rather than being in the army that was attacked. So it's going to be a little different. Yeah, it's still kind of the same outcome, right? You want to use some tactics here. Want to make sure that we are going to tell our archers to go ahead and advance. We kind of want the archers to kind of pelt them with arrows right now. We want our infantry to close in, and soon we're going to do a cavalry charge. I don't know how to tell them to protect flanks and things yet. I'll have to figure that out. I don't know if you can as a player. But now we'll tell our cavalry to charge as we're within range, and we're gonna break through their ranks here with that. They're doing a shield wall right now, so our archers aren't going to be very effective there.
Move it!
So I'm going to tell them to
me!
follow me, and we're going to flank them off of the right side there. We're going to get around that shield wall. So we've got our infantry engaging them now. We've got our cavalry running through them. We've got a good flanking position now, so we're just going to start dropping arrows down. Oop, that was ally. It is easy to kind of get confused when you're in combat to see who's who or what's what. So, and friendly fire is a thing. You can choose the difficulty of the battle settings in the beginning of the game to make it so that, you know, like if you do hit them with arrows, they do less damage. So now they're all retreating, so we're going to tell everyone to charge them down, and we're going to try to run down as many of them as we can. So we gave them the charge command because they're all running. And even though they're still fleeing, we want to charge them down even more. We want to make sure we wreck as many of those guys as possible. And we'll wait till they all either exit the map or we take out whoever's left on the map. There you go. So when it says that battle's won, there's no more people on, no more opposing enemies on the map. So we help this guy who's grateful. We didn't get any prisoners because we weren't in the army, which is kind of unfortunate, but we got a few soldier prisoners, so that's not bad. We'll sell them off and see kind of what that gives us money-wise. Good amount of gear. Most of it's not going to be any good. These horses are good because they you can use them to upgrade troops, or they carry more goods for you in your inventory. So yeah, wrecked them pretty good. Looks like this army disbanded as well, so they're no longer an army. We'll have to see what's left there. We still got some recruiting we need to do, so we'll try to beat these guys to some of the bigger towns and to the towns to get stuff. And should be able to fill up to our 203, hopefully. Pretty close. Sell some guys to the ransom there. And sell all the weapons we don't want. That'll give us a couple thousand. And we'll move to the next town. There's another tournament there. This blue exclamation mark I never explained. That's a quest in town. It's either a lord or a pedestrian. Like, these people are like town leaders. They all run different mills or different things. This guy's a gang leader, so he wants recruits. I don't do the gang missions because my character is a good character. And that will increase like your roguery and your some of the stuff you do will make you have a criminal rating in different cities. And if your criminal rating's too high, that city becomes hostile towards you and you can't really enter it or do anything to it. And that's an interesting way to play because the rogues, they can kind of do whatever they want. Like they can run into enemy territory and attack different caravans and stuff. Now this guy looks like he's got a pretty big party, but we might be able to take him out. Let me check our time real quick. Oh, yep, we're over an hour right now. So um, I don't think. Let's see. Save the game just in case we die. This will be our last fight. Then we'll get off if I can catch him. All right, someone else caught him for us, and we can help him out. So now we're really gonna crush this guy.
After me!
All right, so I'm in charge of the archers again. I called the archers to me. I also got some infantry with me. Um, so I'll keep them all following. Actually, we'll send
Infantry! Move to enemy!
the enemy to move. We could probably do an all-out charge here and just kind of crush them with numbers. I think that's what we're gonna do.
Soldiers! Kill them all!
We'll just do an all-out charge and just get it over with. Run them over really quick. There's no way that they're gonna be able to survive this. So we'll run them over with just a charge order. Try not to shoot our own guys in the back. Yep, and that's that. Just kind of push through them. Run them down a bit. See if we can take them all out. The second they retreat, you can just end the battle. But if you can take out the whole army, then that guarantees none of the lords are still sticking around or anything. So we helped that guy in combat, so he's grateful for us, gave us some more relationship with him. Yeah, pretty quick battle. Not too hard. We totally outnumbered them, so it wasn't a big surprise that we could just do a charge order and get them over with. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Is what it is, man. So this is my latest obsession. I've been putting way too much time into this game, and I love it. The combat's really fun. The quests are pretty interesting. The character development is really exciting and fun. It is slow to start with. That's the hardest thing. That's the biggest the biggest criticism this game gets and the whole series gets is just the beginning grind is very repetitive. It's fight the looters. Okay, now sell their loot. Then fight the looters and sell the loot. And that's what you do for the whole beginning of the game. You got to build up your renown. You got to become known to the lords. So it makes sense, but the gameplay can be kind of grindy. You fight looters, you fight hideouts, you fight the battles you can win. Sometimes you lose battles because you get outnumbered or whatever, and you just sit there in prison for a good amount of time while they carry you around the map for a few game days where you're just sitting there in a freaking prison cell. But it all builds up your stats, right? So anytime you fail, if you stay in prison, you build up roguery. If you escape your prisoners, which you do automatically after a while, you build roguery. If you're being dragged around the field the whole time, you gain athletic skills. Like, it all builds your character into being able to be equal to the lords that are running around. And then you can get more involved, and then you can become a lord yourself, or you can become a sellsword like I did, or you can, Do the larger scale battles, which are a lot more fun with more tactics involved, stuff like that. So the game definitely gets more exciting later on, but the beginning grind is a little slow. So just bear with it. Do the best you can. Know that you're going to be A, captured a bunch, and B, going to have to be, repetitive in some of your stuff. But once you get past that, and you can mix up the monotony a little bit by doing some trade routes here and there and stuff. But there's always quests you can do, and that's really what you do. That's what you focus on in the beginning. You quest and quest and quest, and then after you're done with your quests, you'll be at the tier you need to be. You do a bunch of arenas that'll help you get your renown up. Um, and yeah, once you hit about tier two, you can become. I think it's tier two. You can become a sellsword, and you just kind of do what I'm doing, jump into the armies and run around with them. You get lots more gear that way when you win fights, and you can equip your character with better stuff. Tournaments are really important early on because that's going to give you some of the higher tier gear, and they're not hard to win. And they help you with your combat skills, like how to attack with your left, your right, your stabs, your jabs, all that stuff. So do a bunch of tournaments, kill a bunch of looters, bear through the grind of the questing, and sooner than later you'll find yourself um, running around with the lords, and like my character can carry more troops in his army than most of the lords running on the battlefield. So you can start competing with the lords. Then you can start one-on-oneing with the lords if you have the numbers to do that, and the trained soldiers. Your troops get experience, your heroes gain experience. Yeah, so eventually you start gaining that power, and it starts becoming really exciting because you can start doing pretty much anything in the game. And yeah, and that's the fun part. That's the part where you really, all that hard work, all that grinding kind of pays off. But yeah, so once again, this is Mountain Blade Bannerlords 2. Mountain Blade 2 Bannerlords. Um, we didn't get to do a siege, but sieges are super cool. I might stream some of this sometime later, but the siege combat in this game is really fun. So, yeah, maybe I'll do some more of this. Let me know if you guys liked it. Let me know what your thoughts are on the game. Check it out. Normally isn't too bad. I think Mountain Blade 2 is pretty expensive nowadays, but the other parts of the series are not too bad. So if you want to just kind of play the earlier ones, or you want to just go ahead and get this game, I do recommend it. It's definitely worth the money. And if you can bear with that early grind and the constant updates that they're doing to improve the game, then yeah, now's the time to buy it. But anyway, guys, I hope you liked the stream here. Um, we'll see if we have anyone on that I can raid you out to. Um, so stand by, maybe not. But yeah, um, hope you guys liked it. Let me know in the comments, or I'll throw it up on YouTube and you can check it out there. Let me know if there's any audio issues or anything too that I couldn't correct, or didn't hear about before this, and I'll try to fix those as well. Let's see, is there anyone? Yeah, we got someone. All right, well, I'll see you guys next time, and maybe we'll do some more of this. So I've been really enjoying playing this game, so good chance that we'll do some more of this. Hope you guys enjoyed the stream. We'll see you later.